To me, the term virtual office means a business that has no physical location. Its workers are all connected by computer, sometimes by TV, and of course by the internet. They probably all work from home, but are in communication with each other all the time.
Could you go over that once more?
Yeah, sure. It's similar in ways to a real office, but in a virtual office, there's usually a kind of website that takes the place of a physical office. Workers can go there when they need things, take out what they want, put their finished work there, and so on.
I get it now. I guess it's a cheaper way of running an office. There would be lots of advantages.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you'd never get to spend time with real people. It could be very boring.
2. I think an aging society means that in many countries, people who are over 65 are making up a greater percentage of society.
Could you explain that again?
Well, in many countries, people are living longer and having fewer children. I read somewhere that in 20 years, 30% of the population in many countries will be over 65.
Wow, that will have a big impact on society. There will be a huge demand for healthcare, housing for the elderly, hospitals, and so on.
That's right, and most of those things will have to be paid for by younger people, so taxes will probably go up.
Yeah, but on the other hand, because of improvements in health, old people will be healthier than they are now. That means many of them will want to work longer. Maybe they won't retire until they're 70 or even older, so they will have saved more money to pay for their needs after they stop working.
Could you run that by me again?
Sure. The global village basically means the world and all the people in it. The idea is that the world is becoming like one big village.
What do you mean by that?
Well, in a village, everyone knows everyone else and everyone has to deal with the same kinds of problems. So now people say the world is becoming smaller and we are in one big village, all facing the same kinds of problems.
Well, how has this come about?
There are two things that have brought this about. The first is political change. The world used to be divided into different sides, if you like. Once communism ended in the West, however, countries became much more closely linked, politically and economically. People could travel more easily, and they got to know and understand people in other countries.
So there's much more communication between nations?
That's right. The other thing that has brought about the global village is technology. These days, with satellites and computers, news and ideas travel around the world very quickly. People can see what is happening in any part of the world as soon as it happens. Through the internet, people can also communicate with other people everywhere.
So all of these things together have helped make the world one big village. That's interesting.
The world is becoming like one big village.
What do you mean by that?
The world is becoming like one big village.
Could you explain that again?
The world is becoming like one big village.
Could you go over that once more?
The world is becoming like one big village.
Could you run that by me again?
There are lots of advantages to having a virtual office. It's easy to set up, for example.
I'm not sure I get it. Could you run that by me again?
2.
With a virtual office, there's no need to spend money on expensive rents and office furniture. The idea sounds great for office managers.
What do you mean by that?
3.
A cashless society means that all buying and selling is done electronically. There's no need to have a wallet full of bills and coins. It's very convenient.
But how is it convenient? Could you go over that once more?
4.
With a cashless society, there may not be much need for banks as we know them.
However, a lot of people like going to a bank to talk things over with a real person.
5. With advances in medicine, people are living longer. More and more countries are facing an aging society. But these healthier people can work longer if they want to.
And what's more, with people working longer, economies will grow stronger.
6.
In a global village, countries have to learn to cooperate rather than compete with each other.
I don't know about that. Could you explain that again?